on our 5th wedding anniversary. I drank the warm milk my husband handed me and fell asleep. When I woke up, I felt a chill on my scalp. In the mirror, I had been shaved bald and a turtle had been drawn on my forehead. The female college student I sponsored, holding a clipper, laughed so hard she was bending over. Your head shape is so round, just like a boiled egg. My husband, standing nearby, doted on her. Xiao Yan studies beauty and hairdressing, using you to practice. Your hair will grow back. Don't be so stingy. I stroked my bald head, staring at this pair of dogs who were reveling in humiliating me. Smiled. Just getting some practice. Right. Okay, then I'll practice with you guys as well. Xiao Yan's smile froze on his face. Xiao Yan cool beside him, that impoverished student I funded for 3 years, was still giggling. Sister-in-law, don't be mad. Brother Xiao Yan said, you're the most generous. She waved the electric clippers in her hand, with my short hair still on it. I ignored her. My gaze fell on Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan, after 5 years of marriage, is this how you surprise me? He frowned, his tone filled with irritation. Lin Emo, you've had enough. It's just a few strands of hair. New ones will grow back. Xiao Yan didn't mean to. She just wanted to give you a trendy new haircut. Look at you. You can't even take a joke. Xiao Yan cool was still adding fuel to the fire. Exactly. Sister-in-law, look how fair your skin is. Being bald makes your facial features appear even more defined. Truly, she said this while taking out her phone to take a picture of me. I'll post this on my moments for you. Your sisters will definitely say you're awesome. I stared at her, every word deliberate. Put the phone down. My voice was calm, yet it made Xiao Yan cool freeze. Xiao Yan felt humiliated and suddenly pulled me over. What are you doing to Xiao Yan? She's just a student. Why are you scaring her? The force was strong. My scalp bumped against a button on his chest, sending a sharp pain. I didn't struggle, letting him grab me. I just lifted my head and looked at him. Xiao Yan, the sleeping pills in the milk. Quite a strong dose, isn't it? How long had I slept? His gaze dodged aside for a moment. What sleeping pills? Don't talk nonsense. You must have been too tired lately. Sleeping deeply. That's great. He spoke of drugging someone, so casually. I nodded, indicating that I understood. Then, in front of the two of them, I picked up my phone and took a high-definition photo of my bald head, which had a drawn-on turtle on it. Xiao Yan was furious. Lin Emo, what the hell are you doing? He rushed over to grab my phone. I stepped back and put my phone in my pocket. Don't touch me. I think this look is quite memorable. After all, it was your 5-year anniversary gift to me. I turned and walked into the closet, locking the door behind me. Kim Xiao Yan's furious pounding on the door, and Xiao Sweet. Brother Xiao Yan, don't be angry anymore. My sister-in-law must have just been momentarily upset. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have used my sister-in-law as a practice target. I didn't hear that. I took out my ID card, household register, property certificate from the safe, along with my prenuptial agreement that you're my dad was afraid I'd be deceived. So he specifically hired the best legal team to spell everything out clearly. My company shares, the properties in my name, and my premarital savings have nothing to do with Xiao Yan. And the startup capital for his company was for me. The large apartment we're living in is registered under both our names, but the down payment and the renovation were both paid by me. I packed my things into an inconspicuous backpack. Then I changed into a different outfit and put on a hat. Opened the door. Xiao Yan and Xiao Yan Cool were snuggling on the sofa when they saw me come out. Xiao Yan immediately stood up, his face a little awkward. Have you come to a decision? As long as you delete the photo and apologize to Xiao Cool, this will be settled. I looked at him as if looking at a stranger. Apologize? Sure. I walked up to Xiao Yan Cool. She tucked herself into Xiao Yan's embrace, looking at me timidly. Sister-in-law. I bang. A crisp, loud slap. I used up all my strength. Xiao Yan Cool's face swelled instantly, and blood oozed from the corner of her mouth. She covered her face, staring at me in disbelief. Xiao Yan was also stunned by the time he reacted. He had already pushed me away. Lin Emo, you're crazy. He shoved me into the wall, and my back hurt. but I stood firm. This slap was for myself. Thank you for letting me see clearly whether the person sleeping beside me is a human or a dog. I didn't look at them anymore and walked straight to the door. Xiao Yan roared behind me. If you dare to step out of this door, don't ever come back. My steps didn't stop. Opened the door, turned back, and smiled at him. This turtle-headed picture doesn't match your splendid doghouse. Don't worry, I'll not only leave, but I'll also make you roll out of here. 2. I booked a suite at a hotel downtown. The first thing I did was call my private lawyer. Attorney Chin, get ready. I want a divorce. The lawyer on the other end was a bit surprised, but his professionalism kept him from asking more. Yes, Ms. Lin, what materials do you need me to prepare? Everything. Divide the property. And I'm suing Xiao Yan for intentional injury. Intentional injury. Yes, I sent him the photos I took last night. There was a silence over there for a full minute. Ms. Lin, I understand. Please rest assured. I will handle this matter properly. I hung up the phone and looked at my ridiculous self in the mirror. The turtle on my forehead was drawn with an oil-based pen, which wouldn't wash off, and instead had spread, making it even uglier. I used makeup remover, oil, gently wiping it away bit by bit. My scalp turned red from rubbing, but I finally managed to clean it off. Looking at that smooth, bald head, I didn't cry. Tears are the most useless thing in the world. What I want is for them to pay the price. Early the next morning, I went to the bank. Hello, I want to freeze all the bank cards under my name, including all supplementary cards. After finishing the service, I had just walked out of the bank when I received a call from Xiao Yan. Lin Emo, what do you mean? Why did you freeze my card? Little Jiang has her eye on a bag, and she can't swipe the card. Do you know how embarrassed she would be? I let out a light chuckle. Oh, is that so? Then she should be even more embarrassed now, because from now on, every penny you spend for me will need my approval. Yu Xiaoyan was so furious he couldn't speak. Lin Emo, don't forget, the company belongs to me half as well. Oh, really? I said slowly. Are you sure you want to settle the company's accounts with me? That 5 million you used to start your business back then was given to you by me, according to the prenuptial agreement. This is my personal property gift, and I have the right to reclaim it at any time. The company's funds and accounts are all clearly recorded. How much money did you take to support your mistress? And how many luxury cars and watches did you buy for yourself? If we really investigate, guess what you'll be able to keep in the company? All that remained on the other end of the phone was heavy breathing. Xiao Yan was silenced by me. Over the years, he had grown accustomed to spending lavishly and to my unconditional support. He forgot that everything of his was built on my sacrifices. Lin Emo, what do you really want? I don't want to do it that way. I just wanted you to experience what it feels like to have no money. You don't like to practice, do you? Now it's my turn. 3. My second target is Xiao Yancool, a green tea girl who exploits the guise of a poor student to comfortably spend other people's money. The university she attends, University A, is a prestigious institution. It was precisely because of her outstanding grades that they decided to sponsor her. Now that I think about it, it's quite ironic. I went straight to the principal's office at University A. I hadn't made an appointment and was stopped outside by the secretary. Madam, do you have an appointment? Without one, the principal won't see visitors. Ismail Taher, tell your principal that Lin Emo from Lin Group is here to report that a student at your school is morally corrupt, having an affair and scamming financial aid. If he doesn't show up within the next minute, this information will be on the front page of a university's forum and all local media outlets. The secretary's face turned pale, and she immediately rushed into the office. In less than 30 seconds, the door opened. A middle-aged man with a Mediterranean hairstyle stepped out, his face beaming with a smile. Oh, it's Ms. Lin. Please come in. Come in quickly. I walked into the office and sat down on the sofa. The principal personally poured me a glass of water. Ms. Lin, what you just said was I took a stack of materials from my bag and flung them onto the desk. Principal, I won't beat around the bush with you, either. I began 3 years ago. one-on-one funding for the students in your school's foreign language department. Xiao Yan Cool. This is the annual proof of funding. I pointed to the first document. This is her annual application for financial hardship, stating that both her parents have lost their jobs, are physically weak and ill, and that she has a younger brother who is still in school. The whole family survives on the minimum subsistence allowance. The principal nodded. We know student Xiao Yancool. She is an outstanding student in both character and academic performance, and she is a key candidate for school development, outstanding in both character and academic performance. I laughed. I pulled out the second stack of materials and slapped them onto the table. That's what I arranged a private detective to track overnight. Principal, take a look. This is the poor student you say excels in both character and studies. And Hermes Platinum Bag, a 30,000 yuan price. A Van Cleef Arpels 4-leaf clover necklace. A full set of over 100,000. And this watch, a Patek Philippe, over 70,000. She also owns an apartment near the school, renting for 20,000 a month. May I ask, how can a family living on subsistence allowances afford these? He picked up the photo, his hands trembling. This is impossible. There must be some misunderstanding. Right, wrong understanding. I pulled out my final ace, a photo of Zhou Yan and Jian Ku kissing on my bed. It was captured by the surveillance camera at my home. Principal, this man is my husband. Jian Ku took the financial aid I gave her, slept with my husband, lived in the house I bought, and then turned around and humiliated me. Is this how a century-old prestigious university, like it cultivates its students, teach them how to intrude into other people's families, how to be a shameless third wheel? My voice wasn't loud, but each word struck like a hammer on the principal's face. Sweat began to bead on his forehead. Miss Lin, please calm down. Calm down. This matter was completely unknown to the school. We will handle it seriously and give you a satisfactory explanation. I stood up. I won't explain. I want results according to a university's rules. For students who deceive funding or behave improperly, how are they treated? I think you, President, know better than I do. Expelled from school. Notified to the entire school. I hope to see the announcement tomorrow. Otherwise, I can't guarantee where these photos and documents will end up. I put on the hat and turned to leave. Jianku, aren't you most concerned about your reputation and future prospects? I want to see what future a mistress expelled from a prestigious school can have for the situation escalated faster than I imagined. That afternoon, a university's forum exploded. Shocking. Our school's famous impoverished student turns out to be a top gold digger, surrounded by brand name logos and intruding into a benefactor's family. Under the post, there are photos of Jian Ku carrying designer bags and entering high-end venues. Although the key parts are blurred, those who know her can recognize her at a glance. The comments section instantly exploded with replies. OMG, isn't that Jian Ku, the belle of the foreign language department? Didn't she say she was so poor she couldn't even afford food? I've seen her. Last time she was complaining on Moments about how hard it is to work and study. And now she's walking around with an Hermes bag at SKP. The most disgusting thing is meddling in the family of your benefactor. This is simply a modern version of the farmer and the snake. A university's shame. Get out of a university. Public opinion surged. The school moved quickly to protect itself. Early the next morning, a red title document was posted on the bulletin board. Decision on expulsion of student Jian Ku from the Foreign Languages Department. The reason is clearly written: forging family circumstances, deceiving for student aid, improper personal conduct, severely damaging the school's reputation. I looked at the photo a friend sent on my phone, and my mood was calm. This is what she deserves. Soon, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I answered it. It was Jian Ku. Her voice was filled with sobs. Hysterical. Lin Emo, was it you who did this? Why are you ruining me? I said calmly. I'm just stating the facts. Facts? What facts? Zhou Yan and I truly love each other. It's you. This old woman, sticking around and holding on to your position. Old woman. I smiled. Jianku, you're 21 this year. I'm 30. When you reach my age, I wonder if you'll still have the right to be called an old woman by a 20-year-old girl. You. She choked with anger. I'm telling you, Lin Emo, don't get too full of yourself. Zhou Yan loves me. He'll soon divorce you and marry me. Is that so? Then I wish you happiness. But will Zhou Yan still want a woman who's been expelled from university and ruined her reputation? On the other end of the line, there was a long, deathly silence. Then came the oppressive, despairing cries. I hung up the phone, just as I had set the phone down. Zhou Yan's call came in. He clearly already knew about Jian Ku's matter. Lin Emo, are you crazy? Why would you treat Xiao Ku this way? She's still a student. She was expelled from the school. You've ruined her life. I leaned on the soft sofa in the hotel and poured myself a glass of red wine. Zhou Yan, you got it wrong. What ruined her wasn't me. It was you. You let her think that everything could be obtained by relying on a man. You made her values twisted. Shameless. Are you feeling distressed now? When you two teamed up to drug me and shave my hair, how come you didn't think she was still a student? Zhou Yan was speechless, blocked by my words. He breathed heavily, his voice carrying a sharp edge. All right, Lin Emo, you're ruthless. Do you think you've stopped my card, crushed Xiao Ku, and you've won? I'm telling you, it's not that easy. Where are you now? Get back here. I swayed the glass of red wine. Zhou Yan, it seems you still haven't grasped the situation. Now, it's not you telling me to get lost. It's me telling you to get lost. I'll be waiting at our doorstep. You'd better come over now. We'll talk face to face. His voice was chillingly ominous. Otherwise, you'll be responsible for the consequences. I laughed, exactly to my liking. I was just worried about not having a chance to get evidence of him admitting to drugging me. All right, I'll be right there. After hanging up, I turned on the voice recorder and slipped it into my pocket. Then I called Attorney Chin. Lawyer Chin, you can prepare to report to the police. Assault with intent plus illegal detention. That should be enough to finish him. Attorney Chen's voice was steady. Where is the evidence? Miss Lin, we need solid evidence. Don't worry, he will tell me in person. I drove back to that familiar villa district. My home. From afar, I could see Zhou Yan's car parked at the gate. He saw me, crushed his cigarette, and hurried to me in a few steps, grabbing my wrist. Lin Emo, you finally showed up. He had great strength, pinching me so hard it hurt. Let's go in and talk. He pulled me into the house. I didn't resist. I just watched him calmly. Zhou Yan, what's the hurry? He opened the door, pushed me inside, and then locked the door from the other side. Talk. Sure. What do you want to talk about? He advanced toward me step by step, his gaze hungry enough to devour. Talk about how you'll compensate little Ku. You must go to their school to apologize and get them to rescind the punishment. Give her some money again, so she can study abroad. I was so angry I laughed. Zhou Yan, did a donkey kick your brain? Let me apologize to the mistress and send her abroad. He seemed not to hear me and kept talking to himself. Also, restore my car immediately. You're not allowed to interfere with the company's operations, either. If you do this, I can pretend nothing happened before, and will continue as usual. 5. Zhou Yan, have you forgotten that the sleeping pills in the milk were handed to me by your own hand? Zhou Yan's face changed instantly. He stared at me fixedly, his gaze full of panic. But more than anything, it was the annoyance of having been exposed. I gave you sleeping pills, but the dose was very small. We were just playing a prank on you. Is that really necessary? I sneered. Then he took out the voice recorder from his pocket and waved it in front of him. Zhou Yan, do you think I recorded anything just now? Do you think your furious expression just now doesn't resemble that of a criminal consumed by rage and shame? He stared at the voice recorder, his pupils constricting abruptly. The next moment, he lunged at me as if insane, trying to grab it. You, how dare you scheme against me? I was prepared this time. Sidestepping to the side, he lunged forward and missed, crashing into the coffee table. The huge crash only made him more furious. He rose to his feet, his eyes bloodshot, and charged at me again. This time, I didn't back down. Just as he was about to strike, the villa's main door was kicked open from the outside. Several uniformed officers burst in. Police, do not move. Leading lawyer Chun pointed at Zhou Yan and said to the police officer, "It was him who drugged my client and inflicted bodily harm on him, and now he intends to kill." Zhou Yan was completely stunned. He stood frozen in place, looking at the suddenly appearing police officers, then at me with a calm expression. He finally realized it was a trap, the trap he had meticulously crafted for him. "Lin Emo," he murmured. "You, too." Policemen advanced, each holding him down firmly. The cold handcuffs clamped around his hands that had once handed me the poisoned milk. "Mr. Zhou Yan, you're suspected of intentional injury. Follow us." Zhou Yan was led away by the officers. As he passed me, his eyes locked onto mine, filled with venom and defiance. "Lin Emo, you're ruthless." I smiled at him. "I learned that from you. When you used me as practice, you should have known I'd use you in return." The police car sped away. Lawyer Chen stepped beside me. "Miss Lin, it's all taken care of. The contents of the recording device, combined with the hospital's drug test report and the injury assessment of your head, are sufficient to convict him." I nod. "Thank you for your hard work, Lawyer Chen. The rest, proceed per the process. I want a divorce. Let him walk away with nothing. In addition, this house is my premarital property. Have him remove his name, and I will recover all of the shares in his company." Attorney Chen noted my request. "Understood. All of this is within our plan. Ms. Lin, what are your plans next?" I glanced back at the place I once called home. Now I only find it dirty. Sell it. I don't want anything here. 6. The news of Zhou Yan's detention spread quickly to his parents. That night, I received a call from my mother-in-law. As soon as the call connected, there was a torrent of scathing insults. "Lin Emo, you bring such calamity to our family. What on earth have you done to Zhou Yan? He's your husband. How dare you send him to the police station? Are you made of stone?" I pulled my phone away, waiting until she'd had enough of the insults before speaking calmly. "Mom, you need to figure out what he did to me first. What did he do? Just play a joke on you? What's wrong with a shaved head? Isn't it normal for men to shave their heads? Why make such a big deal out of it and frame your own husband?" Her voice was sharp and harsh. "I'm telling you, Lin Emo, go to the police station right now and drop all those baseless accusations. Bring Zhou Yan back, or I won't let this go." I couldn't help but laugh. This was Zhou Yan's family. They always acted this way, without judgment, always protecting their own son above all else. "Mom, first, I won't drop the lawsuit. Second, he broke the law and deserves legal consequences. Third, I want a divorce." The phone went silent for seconds, then erupted in sharper shouts. "Divorce? You dare? Lin Amo, don't save face. You're part of the Zhou family now. If you want a divorce, there's no way. Did you have an affair? That's why you're so desperate to get rid of Zhou Yan." I couldn't care less about her nonsense. Whether I have a lover or not doesn't matter. What matters is your son having an affair and bringing the woman home. He used my money to buy her a house, car, and bag, and even gave me drugs for her. Mom, your son is so good. I, an old woman, am no match. You should find him a young, beautiful new daughter-in-law soon. After saying this, I hung up and blocked her. I knew they wouldn't stop. Sure enough, the next day, my in-laws stormed into my parents' home. My parents, honest intellectuals, had never seen such a scene. The elderly couple cried and screamed outside my door, throwing tantrums and rolling around, drawing neighbors to watch. Their words kept repeating. Our Zhou Yan was seduced by a fox spirit. Lin Amo, as a wife, not only failed to advise, but sent him to prison. How vicious! In-laws, you should discipline your daughter. My father was so furious, he nearly had a heart attack, while my mother cried uncontrollably. When I arrived, I saw the scene. My mother was holding my father's hand, her face pale as death. My in-laws sat on the floor, slapping their thighs and wailing uncontrollably. I stepped forward to shield my parents. What's wrong? Come at me. My mother-in-law, seeing me like an enemy, jumped up abruptly and reached for my hair. You little wretch. How dare you show up? Her hand missed me completely. Only then did she realize I was already bald. The situation became awkward. I stared at her coldly. Want to hit me? Sure. This will let neighbors see how the Joe family disciplines their daughter-in-law. It'll also show the police how you obstruct justice and threaten victims. I pulled out my phone, pretending to call the police. My father-in-law, sensing danger, quickly grabbed his wife. Enough. Stop this. He turned to me with a solemn tone. Xiao Amo, remember, family matters shouldn't be divided between two households. Zhou Yan was just confused. Give him a chance. We guarantee he'll cut ties with that woman once he's released. He'll live with you properly from now on. The sight of his hypocritical expression made me sick. An opportunity. Did he cherish the 5 years I gave him? Did he treat me as a human being? Where were your good sons when I was unconscious and they shaved my head for amusement? Where were you when he took my money to support his mistress? Now that he's in trouble, you're begging me for help. It's too late. I pointed outside the door. Get out of my house. Don't let me see you again. Otherwise, I'll file another harassment complaint. Their silence was shattered by my authority. My mother-in-law tried to speak, but was abruptly pulled away by my father-in-law. Watching their retreating figures, I turned to support my parents. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry for your suffering. My father patted my hand and sighed. You silly child. We're fine. Better separated. Those people weren't worth it. My mother's eyes reddened as she looked at my bald head. Can hair grow back? I smiled and stroked my own head. It can, Mom. Old habits die. New ones never come. Hair does, but so do people. After dealing with the Zhou family, I moved on to Jiangku. She vanished after being expelled from school. With Zhou Yan arrested and her financial backers gone, life must be tough for her, but I wasn't about to let her off the hook. I instructed Attorney Chen to send her a formal legal notice, accusing her of defamation and privacy invasion. The grounds included her alleged collaboration with Zhou Yan to shave my head and paint offensive designs without my knowledge, followed by attempting to photograph and distribute the images. This went beyond ethical misconduct. It constituted a clear legal violation. Soon after, I received a call from Jiangku. This time, she lacked her previous arrogance and hysteria. Her voice was filled with terror and desperate pleas. Sister-in-law, no, Ms. Lin, I was wrong. I truly regretted my actions. Please, spare me. I've lost everything. The school expelled me. My parents would beat me if they found out. I'll never do this again. I'll even work as your servant. Can you drop the lawsuit? I listened to her cheap tears without showing any emotion. Now you realize your mistake. When you were wielding your authority over me, didn't you consider the consequences? Jiangku, your worst act was touching me. She choked up. I was forced by Zhou Yan. He was the one who suggested it. He wanted to see you humiliated. I had no choice. She began shifting blame. It's a dog biting a dog scenario. Just a matter of fur. Oh, really? So he pressured you to take those designer bags, forced you into living in a luxury apartment, made you post desperate pleas while flaunting wealth on social media. Jiangku, don't make yourself look so innocent. I know who you are, and you know better. You've enjoyed the material comforts he brought. Now you deserve to pay the price. On the other end of the line, she was sobbing uncontrollably. Ms. Lin, I truly regret my mistake. I'll return everything to you. I'll even kneel and kowtow. I can't have a criminal record. I'm still young. I can't ruin my future. It's too late. I cut her off coldly. The moment you pointed that rod at my scalp, your future was destroyed. See you in court. I hung up. I wouldn't pity her. Every pitiful soul has their flaws. Her current predicament is self-inflicted. If I show mercy this time, she'll turn around and ride me on my head again, just as she did before. Mercy to an enemy is cruelty to oneself. This truth came at the cost of a strand of my hair. The legal proceedings progressed smoothly. Zhou Yan had both eyewitnesses and physical evidence, leaving him no room for denial. The intentional injury charge was upheld. and he was sentenced to 1 year in prison. Since no serious injuries were sustained, the sentence was lenient. Yet, for someone as self-important as Zhou Yan, imprisonment was worse than death. In the divorce case, I emerged victorious. As the at-fault party, Zhou Yan committed adultery and domestic violence against me with irrefutable evidence. The court ordered him to leave with nothing. That villa and all the property in my name have nothing to do with him. The company he painstakingly built, since the startup capital was provided by me, and over the years he embezzled a huge amount of public funds. After liquidation, not only did he not get a penny, but he also owed the company a substantial amount of money. On the day of the sentencing, Zhou Yan completely lost his composure in court. He pointed at me, his eyes bulging with rage. "Lin Amo, you're so ruthless. I won't let you off." I watched him calmly from across the gallery, even as he was forcibly led away by the bailiffs. Not a single extra emotion crossed my face. Jiang couldn't escape either. She cannot afford a good lawyer. And in the face of the ironclad evidence prepared by Lawyer Chin, she has no chance to fight back. The court ultimately ordered her to apologize publicly and pay me 100,000 yuan in mental distress compensation. The sum is not large, but it is enough to make her already strained life even harder. More importantly, an unhappy mark was left in her file. From now on, whether it's seeking a job or taking civil service and quota exams, it will be affected. The way I asked her to apologize publicly was also quite special. I demanded that she handwrite a 1,000 word apology letter and then pin it on the social account where she previously portrayed herself as a victim for a month. She was unwilling in every possible way, but in the face of court-enforced action, she had to comply. The apology letter was written with heartfelt sincerity, portraying myself as an ignorant young woman blinded by love and blinded by vanity. The comment section remained filled with curses, but to me, it no longer mattered. I had one win completely. I donated that 100,000 yuan in compensation to Peking University Anonymous, establishing a new scholarship. The requirement specified that it only funds impoverished students who truly have good conduct. After doing all this, I felt a great weight in my heart finally lift. I sold that villa along with everything inside it. I don't want to leave any trace of Zhou Yan. Then I gave myself a long vacation. I went to Tibet and visited the Potala Palace. At the edge of Nam Lake, I took off my hat and let the highland wind blow through my newly grown hair. Already grown into a short layer, it feels fluffy, like little grass. I turned to face the lake and took a look at myself in the mirror. The person has short hair, no makeup, eyes clear and determined, like the previously gentle and patient Lin Amo. He is a different person altogether. I laughed. This is fine. 2-9. After returning from the trip, I embraced a new life. I focused all my energy on my career, my father's company. I was just a nominal shareholder before, but now I've officially taken over the management. At first, there were many long-time employees in the company who didn't respect me because I was young and a woman, especially when I started going to work with a buzz cut. It sparked a lot of gossip. Has the young lady been triggered by something? Why does she have a man's haircut? I heard you divorced your husband, probably due to some unpleasant fallout. A woman who doesn't stay home to support her family and raise children. Why would she come to the office causing trouble? I heard these gossiping remarks, but paid them no mind. I proved myself through action. After 3 sleepless nights, I crafted a groundbreaking project proposal that secured a partnership with a major European client. A tough nut to crack that had eluded our PR team for 6 months. At the victory banquet, those old-timers who had been spreading rumors now gathered around me, glasses raised in toast. "Mr. Lin, you're truly a rising star. We're all getting old now. The company's future depends on you. Mr. Lin, I toast you with this glass. I apologize for any past offenses. Please don't take it to heart. I raise my glass and drink it in one gulp. You're all company veterans who will continue to provide valuable guidance in the future. I didn't make things difficult for them. That's just how the workplace works. Competence is the ultimate measure. When you're capable, others will respect you. You can't do it. Anything you say is just empty words. The busy work keeps me from thinking about unpleasant things. My hair has grown longer and longer, from a buzz cut to neat short hair. The stylist said my features are delicate and suit this style well. Looks cool and stylish. I feel like I found a better version of myself than before. That day, I was in a meeting when my secretary knocked and handed me an invitation. Mr. Lin, this is from the Show family. I opened it and saw that it was my father's Joanne's 60th birthday. I sneered and threw it into the trash. From now on, anything from the Show family, just throw it away. No need to show it to me. Yes, the secretary stepped out. I thought the matter had just passed unexpectedly. A few days later, I was stopped by my former mother-in-law at the bottom of the company building. She looked much more haggard than before, with streaks of gray hair at her temples. Seeing me, she forced a pleasing smile on her face. Xiao Mo. I ignored her and walked straight ahead. She caught up, held my arm. Xiao Mo, don't go. Mom asked you for one thing. I'm not your mom. I shook off her hand. She didn't get angry and leaned in again. Xiao Mo Shou Yen is getting out soon. 1-year sentence. Reduced by 2 months for good behavior in prison. After he came out, he had nothing left, not even his job. Your father was so angry about it that he had a stroke and he's still lying in the hospital. As she spoke, tears began to fall. Our family is completely ruined now. Xiao Mo, I know we were wrong before. We're the ones who wronged you. Just for the sake of our past relationship, please help him. Give him a position at the company. Anything will do. Just let him have a way to earn a living. I stopped and looked at her. Past relationship. I've long lost all affection for him. He's brought himself to this state through his own actions. You're equally to blame. To offer help to him is nothing but wishful thinking. Go back and tell him to never appear before me again. Otherwise, I'll see him once and hit him once. 10. I thought I had spoken in a way that was enough to end it. Unexpectedly, Shou Yen came to me again after being released from prison. That day when I just got off work, I saw him waiting at the company gate. He had lost significant weight and developed a dark complexion, wearing ill-fitting cheap suits with his hair cut short. His eyes betrayed a hint of timidity and servility. A year in prison had erased all traces of his arrogance. When he saw me, he hurried forward. Xiao Mo. I frowned and took a step back. We're not acquainted. He rubbed his hands together, his face betraying an unnatural smile. Xiao Mo. I know I was wrong. I was always the one who messed things up. I'm the one who wronged you. Give me another chance. Please, let's remarry. I swear I'll treat you better from now on and never associate with those shady characters again. I stared at him as if watching a comedy. Remarry. Joanne, did your imprisonment warp your mind? Do you really think a man who cheated, abused his family, and served time would ever become someone like me? Lin Mo. My words pierced his heart like knives. His face turned deathly pale instantly. Xiao Mo, you can't treat me like this. My father had a stroke. My mother's in poor health, and we've spent every last penny. I've lost everything. I'm here begging for your help. He tried to appeal to my emotions, but I was hardened as steel. That's your problem, not mine. When you toyed with me like a fool back then, you should have anticipated this outcome. I circled around him, preparing to get into the car. Suddenly, he lunged forward and grabbed me from behind. Xiao Mo, don't leave. Listen to me. A pungent mix of sweat and tobacco filled the air, making my stomach churn violently. I struggled fiercely. Let me go. I won't. Xiao Mo, I love you. I can't live without you. He clung to me tighter. Just then, a black Bentley pulled up beside us. The door opened and Lawyer Chen stepped out from the driver's seat. His face darkened at the sight and he strode forward, grabbing Joanne's arm and yanking him away from me. Let go of Mr. Lin. Joanne was flung aside, stumbling several steps before steadying himself. When he saw Lawyer Chen, he froze momentarily before his eyes turned venomous. You again. Lin Mo. He's your new lover. Right. Hello. I just stepped in, and you've already found your next target. Lawyer Chen stood between us, his gaze icy and menacing. Mr. Joe, please watch your words. Otherwise, I'll file defamation charges against you. Joanne's neck tightened in fear at his intimidating tone, though his lips refused to yield. This is my personal matter with her. What does it have to do with you? An outsider. Personal matters. I stepped out from behind Attorney Chen. Joanne, we've long lost our families. He's my lawyer and my friend. But if you dare harass me again, I won't hesitate to send you back to prison. Joanne's expression turned completely pale. He was terrified, staring at me intently. He glanced at Attorney Chen's stern face beside him before walking away in disgrace. Watching his hunched figure, I felt no satisfaction. It felt like swallowing a fly, utterly revolting. Attorney Chen turned to me with a calm tone. Mr. Lin, are you all right? I shook my head. No worries. Thank you. Attorney Chen, it's just a small favor, he said with a smile. Get in the car. I'll take you home. I didn't refuse. Sitting in the vehicle, I gazed at the passing night scenery and suddenly felt exhausted. Attorney Chen, do you think I'm a failure? Choosing the wrong partner wasted 5 years of youth. Attorney Chen drove forward, his eyes fixed ahead. Miss Lin, this isn't your fault. Timely stop-loss is the greatest success. And he paused. You didn't waste time. You simply took an expensive lesson. I turned my head to look at him. The glow of the street light fell on his sharply defined profile, appearing especially tender. I laughed. Yes, indeed, just a single class, although the tuition was a bit expensive. At least I graduated 11. After that, Joanne never bothered me again. I heard he took a job moving bricks on a construction site, working himself to the bone every day. His parents sold their hometown home to pay off debts to the company and rented a small studio apartment in an urban village. John Ko, after losing me, 100,000 yuan vanished completely. Some say she returned to her hometown only to have her parents break her legs and lock her inside. Others claim she refused to accept defeat and moved to another city, working as a hostess at a nightclub. None of this matters to me anymore. Their lives, good or bad, no longer stir a ripple in my heart. My life has finally found its footing. Under my leadership, the company has been thriving. My short hair has grown longer, styled into fashionable curls, and dyed a new color. I started working out, learning flower arrangement and wine tasting. I filled my life with meaningful activities. Lawyer Chin and I gradually became acquainted. He was no longer the Lawyer Chin who only communicated with me over the phone. We became friends. We would dine together, watch movies, and discuss work and personal life. He was erudite, witty, and highly gentlemanly. With him, I feel more relaxed and at ease than ever before. That day was my birthday. I wasn't planning a big celebration, just a simple meal with a few friends. Lawyer Chin also came. The gift he gave me was a small box. When I opened it, inside was a pair of delicate stud earrings from a niche brand that I really like. How did you know I liked this? I was a little surprised. He smiled and his ears turned a bit red. I guess so. After dinner, he walked me home. When we got downstairs, I was ready to get off, but he suddenly called out to me, Lin Mo. For the first time, he called me by my name instead of Miss Lin or Mr. Lin. I turned to look at him. His eyes, piercing through the night, glinted with startling clarity. Can I pursue you? He asked cautiously, his voice tinged with nervousness. My heart skipped a beat as I stared at him. I didn't answer immediately. I simply smiled at him. Then, I leaned in and kissed him softly on the cheek. What do you say? He froze. Then, a wave of joy washed over his face. He laughed, too, like a child who'd just gotten candy. Outside the car window, the moonlight was just right. I knew my life had turned a new page. That night with the shaved head and the turtle tattoo, like a nightmare, was long gone. Now, standing before me was a better version of myself and someone worthy of my love. Hair gone, it could grow back. Love wrong, it could start over. Life, as long as you don't give up on yourself, always has the chance to begin anew.